This is Kenya News Update today. What if I told you a single bank is holding the key to Cameroon's 50 billion CFA franc debt crisis? Coming up, you'll discover how an Ivorian millionaire's financial empire is cashing in on government chaos and what this means for every taxpayer in Africa. Meet Bernard Kon Dossongui, an Ivorian tycoon who built a financial empire over decades. His bank, AFG Bank Cameroon, just became the government's new lifeline. But here's the twist. This isn't a bailout. It's a high-stakes bet on the state's ability to pay its bills. For years, businesses in Cameroon have been strangled waiting for government payments. The International Monetary Fund has repeatedly warned that these arrears are a drag on the entire private sector. Companies live and die by state contracts, and when the Treasury doesn't pay, everything grinds to a halt. Enter Dossongui's Atlantic Group. Through its holding company, AFG Holding, it operates banks, insurers, and microfinance firms across Francophone Africa. They've positioned themselves perfectly to exploit this massive financing gap. The latest public debt report reveals the shocking scale. The central government's domestic debt hit 4,246 billion CFA francs, that's 7.59 billion US dollars, as of September 30, 2025. That's about 12.8% of the entire country's GDP. And buried in that report is the real story. AFG Bank is now the counterparty on debt assignment transactions worth 50 billion CFA francs. That's $89.4 million. But here's what nobody's talking about. This isn't one simple loan. It's 3 separate deals, refinancing unpaid bills for some of Cameroon's biggest projects. The largest chunk, 30 billion CFA francs, is tied to receivables from Globelex Kribai and Debamba power projects. 2 other assignments are worth 10 billion CFA francs each. One involves the Port Authority of Douala, the other the state telecom giant Cantel. So how does this debt assignment actually work? Imagine you're a supplier. You've built a power plant for the government, but you haven't been paid. Instead of waiting for years, you sell your claim to AFG Bank. The bank pays you immediately at an agreed discount. Then the bank collects the full amount from the treasury later. Officials call this a way to keep projects moving, but bankers know the truth. These deals hinge entirely on one thing, the credibility of the government's repayment schedule, and in a tight funding environment, that's a huge gamble. The CAA report shows a broader, terrifying trend. Structured bank debt is rising alongside Treasury bill issuance. Public sector's total domestic debt, including overdue payables, was a staggering 5,045 billion CFA francs, or $9.02 billion at the end of September. The pressure on the Treasury is relentless, and the arrears are a recurring nightmare. Some say this financial engineering is necessary to stop the economy from seizing up. It keeps the lights on at the Kribai power plant. It keeps goods moving through the port of Douala. But others see a dangerous precedent. Powerful private bank is now deeply entangled with the state's fiscal failures. The government hasn't published the pricing or the maturity of these AFG assignments. That secrecy is the final twist. What are the terms? What's the interest rate? How long does Cameroon have to pay it back? The silence is deafening. Do you think this kind of deal saves an economy or sells its future? Drop your take in the comments. Subscribe to Kenya News Update today for more breaking financial news from across Africa.